What's up, everybody? Gajewski here, back again with the Stokastic Fantasy Football YouTube channel. Today, I am here to talk about must-draft wide receivers after round one. Excuse the voice. I have lost it, feeling a little bit under the weather, but we will get through this nonetheless. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We are also brought to you today by Underdog Fantasy. And if you've never heard of Underdog, they're the best place to play fantasy football in the summer months. They just unveiled Best Ball Mania 3, which is a tournament that has $10 million in total prizes. All you have to do is draft your team, and that's it. There's no waivers, no trades, no in-season management. Underdog gives you your best score every single week, and the highest score at the end of the year wins. Last year's Best Ball Mania championship team was drafted in June, so there's no time to wait. And if you click the link in the video description below, you're going to get a first match deposit bonus up to $100, and you're going to get our best ball draft kit 100% free. That's a combined value of $170 with the first time deposit of $100. So make sure to check them out. We'll be referencing Underdog all throughout the video today, but the place I want to start with wide receivers after round one that I'm putting my flag down on, that I'm trying to get in every single draft. The first one's Mike Evans, and he's coming off the board pretty close to round one now. ADP of 16, wide receiver, 7 overall in Underdog. This has everything to do with Chris Godwin's injury. Not expected to be ready at the start of the year. They lost Antonio Brown. They do bring in Russell Gage, but still, Mike Evans should be in store for a monstrous target share. Last year, it was at 16.5%, and he was still a monster wide receiver. And when we look at the Buccaneers offense, first in pass rate, third in plays per game, they're going to be up-tempo. They're going to be pass-heavy. And Mike Evans is the engine of the wide receiver room. Also, not to mention Rob Gronkowski is gone. So he is the number one wide receiver on this list. The first one I want to talk about here. Excuse me again, guys. Going to be a battle to get through this. The second wide receiver I want to talk about comes off the board a little bit later. We're going to go down to Michael Pittman, wide receiver 13. His ADP right now on Underdog Fantasy is 28.6. And there's a lot to like about Michael Pittman. I think first and foremost, we need to discuss Matt Ryan coming over to Indianapolis, which should be a major upgrade from the offense. Pittman last year basically had everything you could want except efficient quarterback play. He had 129 targets. That was a 25.8 target share, 32% air yard share, and his yards per route run was really efficient. He was at 1.95. That was 19th in the NFL among wide receivers that had at least 100 targets. And now there's a lot of vacated targets in Indianapolis with T.Y. Hilton exiting. 106 available at the wide receiver position, 154 available in total. Michael Pittman should be poised for an absolute smash year in 2022. The wide receiver 3 I want to talk about is on the Denver Broncos, and there's been a lot of debate between Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. To be honest with you, I think they're both fine, but I've been coming around to Cortland Sutton quite a bit. Wide receiver 17, ADP of 37.2. Cortland Sutton, basically to me, this comes down to can he get back from injury, because we know Russell Wilson is going to bring efficient football over to Denver. The new coaching staff should be a little more up-tempo, should be more pass-heavy. Cortland Sutton had 95 targets last year. There was a 19% target share, but his yards per route run slipped to 1.43. That was 56 in the NFL. And I think that's largely because of the ACL tear. When you look back to 2019, his last healthy season, he was at 2.08 yards per route run on 115 targets. That's in the elite category, like the elite wide receiver ones in the NFL. So to me, this comes down to, can Cortland Sutton get back to that wide receiver 1 pedigree he showed in 2019? And I think another year removed from the injury with Russell Wilson will help him. Again, I like Jeudy too, but Cortland Sutton has that wide receiver 1 profile, the guy that could potentially be an alpha in this league. Next up, Brandon Cooks is the man in town. He is going widely undervalued, even at wide receiver 24. This has been creeping up in recent drafts, ADP of 50. Realize just a legitimately good receiver, and he's probably younger than we think. He's actually 28 years old right now, going to be 29 in the season. But last year, he had 133 targets. That was 13th in the NFL. That's a 24.5% target share, 39% air yard share too. So we love where the targets are coming. And 1.96 yards per route run. That's extremely efficient. Davis Mills took a solid step, one that people probably weren't expecting, and Houston retains their OC and Pep Hamilton, which should be solid for both Cooks and Davis Mills here. I'm going to bet on another season with Brandon Cooks finishing close to wide receiver 1 status, certainly in wide receiver 2. So he's somebody I will gladly take in the later rounds with an ADP of 51.6. And last, we're going to go to New York. Another situation similar to Denver, where I kind of just want to bet on one of the wide receivers in the offense. But if I have to choose between Kadarius Tony and Kenny Golladay, I would like to get Kadarius Tony, the younger player, the explosive player. Last year, injuries limited Tony, but he still was able to snatch 57 targets in the offense. When he played, that was a 16% target share. That ascended as he acclimated to the offense as well. And his yards per route run was 2.14. He didn't qualify for the study I did earlier where we ranked the wide receivers based on yards per route run. 57 targets, well short of the 100 threshold. But again, if you just compare that in the small sample, that's in the elite category. That's higher than some fantastic players on this list. It's higher than like a CD Lamb. So if the targets are there for Kadarius Tony and he continues to be efficient, you could be looking at a monstrous season for him with a very late pick. Again, Kadarius Tony, wide receiver 42, ADP of 85.2. And then we didn't even mention the coaching staff. Brian Daboll comes in from Buffalo, and the Buffalo offense is one of the pass heaviest, one of the fastest in all of football. No, it probably won't be the exact same as Buffalo. New York has a ways to go to get there with their talent and personnel, but still we're expecting the offense to regress positively in terms of pass rate and overall pace of play. But those are the 5 wide receivers that I will be taking a stand on this year in fantasy football. Let me know what you think in the comment section and who some players are that you believe are must-draft wide receivers outside round 1. I am Matt Gajewski on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again next time.